Rocking and rolling.
Welcome.
Welcome back.
You start every episode like that?
I like it. It's pretty
There
cool.
you go.
Pretty cool little intro segue in.
Sounds like you missed your calling. Be a singer.
No, I'm not that good. No, I sound like Johnny Cash after cocaine when I'm really singing, when I'm really trying.
That is one thing I was never like music stuff
Yeah.
in the music classes in school.
I could play
I could have
Jaws and
cared
Halloween
less.
on the piano.
Good for you.
And then Halloween was ding, 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 ding. That's it. That's all I could do. It's all I was good at.
I was never musically inclined.
My brother is. He got it all.
There you go.
Plays guitar, multiple guitars. I can see him play the banjo a little bit. He can sing a little bit. I'm like, good Lord.
Good for him.
Mm-hmm.
So we're back. A lot has happened.
I was going to say.
MLB trade deadline.
Stir crazy.
Orioles made some moves.
This felt like and I know you don't follow the NBA as much, but this felt like an NBA trade deadline.
Lots of moves,
there were fireworks going off all over the place, and I loved it. It was awesome. So it was fun to see because you saw teams, the Orioles. They did what they did what we thought they needed to do, but you get all these. They're like, oh, we didn't get Crochet like we want to do. Oh, nobody did. Oh, we didn't get Blake Snell like we would. Nobody did. Which means either A, those teams just had zero intentions on giving them up, or B, they were asking way too much.
Exactly.
Way too much.
And I'm glad they didn't, sell the farm.
Just to get one of those guys.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think, while it may not have been the sexiest moves they made, I think...
They were the necessary moves.
Yeah.
Yep. They were the necessary moves. The sexiest trade was with the Yankees with getting Jazz Chisholm.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's an electric ball player. He's an electrifying ball player.
Yeah.
So he comes in. He's like a Ellie Dela Cruz. You know Ellie Dela Cruz.
Mm-hmm.
It's like an Ellie Dela Cruz Jr. So he's just about half, and I say junior because he's about half the height. Ellie's a massive. He could play tight end or wide receiver in the NFL. He's built like Calvin Johnson.
It's crazy.
It's just a massive, but fast as hell.
Yeah,
fast as hell. Yeah, but I know you want to stick to the Orioles, which I'm completely fine with. We did what we had to do. We got some left-handed starters, and we got the bullpen help that we absolutely had to have.
100%.
So, and I believe either of those guys could, especially Sir Anthony, could look at becoming the closer for us through the rest of the year because everyone in Baltimore and the surrounding area is tired of Kimbrel blowing save opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's getting rough. No offense, he's had an amazing career. He'll probably make Hall of Fame because I believe he's top 10 in saves in his career. But
he is on the absolute tail end of his career.
It is time for him to step down and either be mid-reliever or maybe second setup guy behind Cano.
Yeah.
So he does. And I get it. He was a Band-Aid. We weren't going to go out and spend a ton of money on a top closer because Bautista's coming back. Correct. It'd be great if it is the end of this year, maybe playoffs. If not, we know that we plan on having him next year. Hence why we signed him to a 1-year, $1 million deal.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, here's $1 million. Just don't go nowhere else. Stay here. We want you here, but we need to make sure that this is going to work out in the long run before we give you a bigger contract, which is fine. That's great. That's what you're supposed to do as a good MLB team. And obviously, Bautista wanted to be here because I'm sure there were some other bigger offers out there, even though he was coming off of Tommy John. I guarantee there were other bigger offers, but I think he's one of those guys that realizes Baltimore's going to be in the running for a while now.
Oh, yeah.
Under new ownership, this farm system, and just the flat-out amazing team that we have on the field already. So, I mean, I went to was it this past weekend? Yes, this past weekend when San Diego was in town. Mm-hmm. I went to 2 games. I went to the Friday night game and I went to the Sunday afternoon game. And I haven't been to the ballpark on a Friday night and a Sunday afternoon in quite some time and seen that big of a turnout. So, and I mean, I get it. It's a West Coast team. Now, I will say this. Shout out Jackson Merrill. because Merrill Madness was on full display at the stadium.
Mm-hmm.
I even wore my Merrill jersey on Friday night to show support and everything for the local guy. And I mean, and he had an amazing series. He kicked our ass. But they're playing the Dodgers right now out on the West Coast. He hit a bottom of the ninth game tying home run. It's like,
He's having a hell of a year.
just turned 21 years old, and this is what this kid's doing. And he had a web gym. He had a diving catch in center field, same game.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, and they're trying to push the M&M boys with Machado and Merrill because they're back to back in the lineup now. Which, the original M&M boys were Maris and Mantle, which that's a big, it's a big calling for. But I like it. I think it's pretty cool. But Jackson is he's just the ultimate professional where. He's just like 21 years old. You don't see many 21-year-olds as mature as he is, as focused on one thing as he is, and all that kind of stuff. And he's just jealous that he's not on our team. You know what I mean? But maybe one day he'll want to come home. Even though he was never an Orioles fan, he grew up as a Boston fan.
Ugh.
Yeah, his dad was a Boston fan, so he grew up a Boston fan, which I think is great. Which I think it's even funnier because he hit a home run in almost the entire 3-game. I think he hit 2 home runs in the 3-game series when he played in Boston.
It's crazy.
So, but yeah, trade deadline. What were your thoughts
deadline,
on
it? I think none of the moves were sexy, but I think they were necessary, and I like what they did because I think that lefty they got from Miami. Over the last 11 games or something, he had really started to find it again.
Sure.
And I think they have team control over him for two more years.
Yep.
And same with Eflin that they
Zach Eflin. Yeah. Yep. I think that was the number one person that we got. As much as we needed bullpen help. We needed that starter guy who's going to go out and get us 6 or 7 innings and only let up 1 or 2 runs to give us a chance to win that game. And he is the undoubtedly number 2 now behind Corbin Burns.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. So and he has experience. He's been in the league a little while. He has that experience, and I love it.
Mm-hmm. So I like those moves. Of course, wouldn't have loved to give up Norby, especially with what happened with Westberg yesterday.
Yeah.
But
you can't predict that.
You never know.
You can't predict that.
But still, you got Holliday up now.
Throw Holliday at second base.
Yep, he'll likely slide in at second base, and then you still got Urias to play third base.
Yep.
And then Mateo will be back at some point.
Yep. Who's our switchblade guy?
Yep.
Right. Put him anywhere you need to.
So I think they're in a good spot, and I liked the move. Of course, I didn't want to see Austin Hayes go, but. I think it was time to clear room in the outfield.
We got some prospects down there that are ready and waiting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and look at what we got in return. We got Sir Anthony, and it was like, damn, that's not a bad trade and Hayes was on the last year of his contract.
Mm-hmm.
He'll probably get paid about $12 million a year, and we management. A lot of fans forget. We are looking into the future as in $300+ million for Gunnar, $200 to $250 million for Adley. If Jackson Holliday turns into what we all hope and pray that he's going to, there's another $250-300 million contract.
And if you pay these pitchers too.
So here's my thing. I don't think we'll ever get into a long-term discussion with any pitcher. I don't think we will. It's never been the Oriole way. We made huge mistakes in the fielding positions, but I don't think that. But I think it will be a relatively large 2 or 3 year deal with a player or team option for some of these pitchers, especially Corbin Burns.
Yeah.
It's like if the Orioles make it, I'm not worried about having the best record again. That was cool. We won 100 games. Great. No worries. I want to win in the playoffs. I don't care if we sneak in as a wild card. The first Ravens Super Bowl, we were a wild card team. We were a 6th seed. So I don't care about having the best record in the league because obviously if you have the best record in the league and then you get swept the first series, thanks a lot.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah.
So make the playoffs, which obviously, unless we have a complete meltdown, which I don't see us having because we have guys who are that into the game. We'll make the playoffs, and then I think that they made the moves that they had to make to be a World Series contender. So,
I agree.
you know what I mean? Having them number 1 and number 2, obviously. And you know what? If an injury happens, you can't prevent that. Same thing with Westbrook. You can't predict it. You can only do so much to prevent it. If it happens, it happens. Next guy up.
And we have the depth.
We do have the depth. Yes,
So,
absolutely. Absolutely.
Not the end of the world, but I think they shored up some pitching, which was what we needed to do.
Absolutely necessary, especially the back end of the bullpen.
Yeah.
Back end of the bullpen was struggling.
Yes.
Big time.
So, overall, I like what they did.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I think Elias made the right moves, and I think he made the moves discussing with ownership and being like, Corbin Burns, here's what we want to do. We want to have him 2 to 3 more years because he's definitely, obviously, he's still got it.
Stud.
So, and it was, no one said this, but to me, it was a question mark going into this year because guys who are aces in the National League don't always reflect that when they come to the American League, especially the AL East.
Mm-hmm.
Which is the toughest division in baseball. I don't care. Get out of here with your Dodgers and Padres. I mean, both good teams, both World Series contenders, blah blah blah. But last year there wasn't one team in our division that was under 500, which means we beat the hell out of the rest of the league.
Yep.
So we were over 100 games winning. So yeah, you can't tell me that at all. So, but it's funny. I saw sidestep Orioles really quick. We'll get right back to them. I saw a stat that the Miami Marlins payroll now is less than what Aaron Judge is making this year. The entire now that they made all these trades and got rid of they got rid of a lot. They sold, the whole state of Florida sold. Yeah. Like it was Miami and Tampa just went fire sale. Everyone's for sale. Everyone's gone. Take who you want, sort of thing. So, which Tampa does it because they know that they're not ever going to be able to re-sign some of these guys because they were just in the World Series a couple years ago and they haven't really lost anyone, but it's just they haven't been living up to their expectations. So you got to unload them and try to rebuild again.
Rebuild the farm.
Yep. So, and then the other team that was specifically quiet, which I was amazed at, was the Toronto Blue Jays.
I thought they were selling.
I thought they were selling as well. Yes.
Yep.
Me too. But I guess ownership was like, we'll take the L on the chin this year because we're not performing up to our expectations. We'll reload again in the offseason even more and try to come back next year. So, because I really thought Vladdy was on the move. I thought he was going to end up in Seattle or Houston.
And he absolutely killed the Orioles over the last...
Oh, my goodness. Did you see that stat line? 3 home runs, 9 RBIs, and he hit like a 525. I'm like, just hit him. Don't even pitch to him, but hit him or let him or walk him. Give him over 1,000 on base percentage. I don't care. He's not going to steal a base. He's not going to
steal second.
No, he's not stealing a base, and he ain't outrunning any of the arms in the outfield. Just walk him to first. Someone hits a home run behind him, oh well. But stop letting him just, good Lord. Come on, Hyde. Get it together.
So, I like the moves they made. I think we're in a good position moving forward. Are you checking if we're still rolling?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I got way too much PTSD now. Way too much.
We've been burned by that one too many times.
Yeah. Yep.
Other thing I had was Jackson Holliday coming back up.
Yeah.
What an
exciting way to come back.
What a way to hit your first home run.
He gets thrown into the game, thrown into the starting lineup his first day back up, and pops a grand slam.
Onto Utah Street.
Onto Utah Street. Yes, over the gate and onto Utah Street. Yes. Yep. Classy move. Yeah, once again, a young guy. Did you see the after interview where he met the dad and the son?
I did.
And he was like, man, he goes, as a dad, he goes, I can only hope that if my son's ever in the same position as you, that he gets treated the same way. He goes, that's why I'm doing. And you know what? It's like, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome. You don't see that often. Most people are like, no, I want
$1 million.
I want $1 million. I want this. I want that. And it was funny. Like the kid just walked up and handed it to him immediately. Like he didn't even have to ask.
Yeah.
Like the kid just walked up and handed it back to him. Of course, he got a signed bat and everything, which will be worth, not as much as his first home run ball of his if he turns out to have a huge career, but still a pretty big one.
Oh yeah.
So it's pretty cool. But yeah, and then I was told by a fellow friend of ours, LJ, who I'll use initials, LJ, who said that he missed a second home run by inches.
Yeah, down the left field line.
Yes, yep. He said that it even got reviewed and everything.
It looked like it,
and
there was no green between that line.
Correct. Yep. Yep. That's what he was saying, and I was like, because he texted me on the way to the game, and he sent me a picture of the lineup. He goes, Holliday's back, and he's been like one of the biggest Holliday promoters like since he came up. Which I'm like, okay,
aren't the Hollidays from Oklahoma?
I think so. Which would make more sense. Yeah. And I was like, I'm predicting he goes 1 for 4 with a single. I said, I think he gets a decent base hit. I said, but 1 for 4 with a single in his first game back. He went 1 for 5 with a grand slam. So I was slightly off with that single.
A little bit.
Yeah. So, but I thought it was like, I watched the pitch sequence, right? So the first pitch was an outside slider that caught the outside of the plate, strike one. Second one was I believe was a down and low change-up off-speed ball that it was a ball. Second one was a high heater fastball. It was like 97 miles an hour, but like up in the zone, which was his biggest like kryptonite when he came up the first time, was the high fastballs. He couldn't keep up with them. He fouled it off, so he got a good swing on it. And then the next pitch, the guy left a hanging slider, and he just took it over to Utah Street. It was just he didn't look like he was trying to muscle that ball out.
No.
It just looked like a very fluid
beautiful
swing that he made perfect contact with. Shout out MLB The Show. If you play that, you know what perfect means. And it just went gone.
Yep.
Like everyone in the stadium knew it. The stadium went massively nuts. I knew a bunch of people at the game yesterday. I'm like, how did everybody
Thanks
know
for
ahead
the invite.
I know, right? Like, how did I know so ahead of time? Like, how did y'all know ahead of time? And I asked a couple of people, like, did you know Holliday was getting called back up? They're like, no, we just had tickets because it's one of the last day games of the year and blah 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 during the week. And I'm like, oh, okay. Sometimes you get lucky, I guess. So I'd have never had.
I think they made an announcement like the night before.
The night before, yes. So So I mean, if you have the flexibility, I guess you could have definitely, you could have definitely predicted and went and got a ticket and everything if you have the flexibility at work. But there were so many people that I knew. I was like, I know you degenerates just like, did you just called out sick today or something? Yeah, like I know half of you can't get off like this.
Yeah.
So, but I thought it was what a cool moment though. Like hopefully that just. Like let him come above water a little bit in that situation. You know what I mean? Even if so he went 1 for 5. He had a grand slam. He brought in 4 RBIs.
Yeah.
So and we were only up by 1, so it was a close ball game until he hit that.
Yeah.
So that was a big momentum shift in our favor, and especially all the crowd has just been waiting for this moment for Jackson
100%.
Holliday to finally come out to be the guy that we thought we drafted. And here he sends one on the Utah Street, so he'll get a nice little golden bronze or whatever color bronze plaque.
Yeah.
Put on Utah Street out there. That'll be really awesome. So,
yeah.
I thought that was what an amazing moment. Good call on that one.
And I think the Orioles have got a lot of guys getting hot at the right time. And I think now that the trade deadline is passed, I think there's some guys building some confidence that, hey, this is my role.
Yep.
Yep. Kowser's getting hot.
Yep, again, thankfully.
Yeah.
Because he definitely cooled. He had the first. He was offensive player of the month, and I believe in April, and not offensive rookie, offensive player of the month in April, and then he's just been semi-mediocre, but now he is definitely starting to heat up. I was at the game when I went to the game on Sunday. I think he went like 2 for 4 or 3 for 4 or something like that. He had a really good game.
One of those home runs was a monster shot too.
He's got some power.
Yeah,
he's got some power. Now the scary part is there's a guy down in AAA right now who probably has the most power behind. I don't put anybody ahead of Gunnar because they say Gunnar's almost side by side with Judge when it comes to swing speed and connection and power and everything, but Mayo.
I've also heard a lot of good things
and I heard
about
he's a giant.
Basayo guy or Basalo.
Yep.
I've heard
He's
he's
another one.
got some massive power too. Which in
Yes.
a year or two McCann's not gonna be there anymore. Which we didn't talk about that either.
Bro, come on. Yes.
Oh man,
Yes.
what a just let me flop my balls out on the table and like. Oh my goodness!
Absolutely.
I'm not coming out of the game.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like he's like, what are you nuts?
That's like Albert Bell getting hit by a pitch and not wanting to go to first.
Not wanting to go to first. He's like, it didn't hit me. Like, look at it hit you. No, it didn't hit me. Yeah. No, just taking a 95 miles an hour. 95. Think about that. I'm sitting there. I was sitting there with Kate, and like when I was looking at it, and I have a baseball almost everywhere I go. It was my favorite sport growing up. I played it a lot. I was much better at baseball than I was at football. And like I said, hold this ball, hold it. I said, now imagine it being thrown 95 miles an hour. She goes, wow. I said, now imagine it hitting you right here, right here.
Yeah.
It was, and what a shit. I mean, true Baltimore way.
Yeah,
stays in the game.
Yep.
And
you saw after the game, the interview.
Oh my goodness, he couldn't even
open
his eye.
Like shut.
Couldn't even open his eye. Yeah, he looked like Rocky at the end of round 10. Cut me, Mick. You gotta cut me, Mick.
I've got a buddy in high school that went to lay down a bunt, and when he did it, the ball went off the
ricocheted.
He foul tipped it, and it came back and hit him right square in the nose. And
I don't care how tough you are, you're going to shed a tear when that happens.
It was bad. He came out of the game.
Oh yeah, well, that's honestly that's expected. Yeah, so, I mean, even
but still, it was he had blood all over his shirt. It looked awesome.
Yep. Did you see what the one pitcher tweeted though? I forget which. I lost his name, but I remember the tweet because it was hilarious. He was like, I will go to war with James McCann any day of the week, but I just feel so inferior now that he wouldn't even need my ass if we went to war.
Exactly.
Yeah, you make a good point there. I don't think he needs anybody. So
with that, the Orioles have so many good things going right now.
Oh yeah.
Starting to play the best baseball.
I think so.
I
think so. And this is all with, I mean, Adley's been taking this has been his break week for the most part. So he's only called a couple of games. And Gunnar hasn't been playing the way Gunnar's been playing. You know what I mean? Imagine
been fielding the ball very well.
No, it's been a little rough. Imagine when he starts turning it back up again. Because he will. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
Yep.
So, and I mean, anytime in this next month and a half, if he wants to, carry that into the playoffs. Carry it into the playoffs because, I mean, the Yankees are going to keep fighting. They're just going to.
Yeah.
Boston is the only other team in the division that might have an outside chance of making a wild card. And they made a couple little moves. They didn't make anything real huge.
No big splash.
No, I think that they're waiting for the offseason personally to really make a big splash. And if they make the playoffs, they make the playoffs. But they're going to spend their money. But I mean, other than that, like I said, I think the biggest splash was the Yankees getting Jazz Chisholm. Like that was the biggest star name.
Yeah.
And then I mean the Mariners definitely reloaded. So which they kind of had to. They had a 12-game lead on Houston, and now Houston leads the division. So which Houston never goes away.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they never go away. But yeah, that's been a pretty wild week in baseball.
Yeah.
Especially for the home team. So
I think that's enough baseball talk unless you got anything else on.
I thought we covered just about everything we needed to.
Yep. Next we got NFL training camp is open. Training camp is live.
It's heating up.
Hall of Fame game this weekend?
Yeah.
So
yep. Sure is.
Football is back.
It is back.
We're
back, baby. The words
excited
of the hangover.
for that.
Yep.
And then that should be Hard Knocks should be out next week.
It is the 6th. Yep. Tuesday the 6th is episode number 1.
Looking forward to that. They're saying Jaden Daniels is looking good right now.
Mm-hmm. I've heard that. I've heard that.
So,
yep.
Hey, you never know.
You never know.
So
you never know. Yeah, it'll be fun though. I don't think they've ever done the Chicago Bears. I don't think they have. So it'll be cool to see like I hope they bring like Brian Urlacher was one of my favorite players growing up.
Mm-hmm.
He was just fun to watch. Brian Urlacher, Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, Mike Allstott. Mike Allstott was one of the first guys that my father ever was like. He goes, just watch the way he plays. He just plays me. Jerome Bettis, like they had like very like they're gonna hit you. Like get out of their way, or you better be able to come back and hit them.
Yeah.
So Eddie George was an amazing running back. So I don't know why I like running backs. I've been fat my entire life. I never got to run the ball. So, but yeah,
I always wanted to run the ball.
I had growing up. I had a Mike Allstott, a Brian Urlacher, a Ray Lewis, an Ed Reed, and a Jonathan Ogden jersey. Those were my 5 jerseys that I had. So, and everybody was like, "Oh, you're a Bears fan?" Like, no, I'm a Brian Urlacher fan. Same reason, like Jackson. Like, no, I'm not a San Diego Padres fan. I'm a Jackson Merrill fan.
I was like, I had a Sean Taylor jersey, LeVar Arrington.
Love that. R.I.P.
Mike Vick.
Ooh,
the black Atlanta Falcons.
That was a tough looking jersey.
It might have been red. I can't remember.
That was that black and red combo. Whether it was the red one with the black trim or the black one with the red trim, that was a tough looking jersey.
Yes.
Yep.
So,
you know the other one that I had, the bad boy of tight ends before Gronkowski, Jeremy Shockey. Remember that? Remember what a name drop. Yes, I had a Jeremy Shockey jersey. Just because of how wild he played. Like I just when I watch football, I watched it for the entertainment factor, not for the football factor.
Jeremy Shockey
when I was younger. So he was a beast.
Even though he played for the Giants for
I know, kind of against your team,
but I was a Shockey fan.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I can't remember what other jerseys I had.
I was a big jersey guy when I was in middle school. Like I was one of those. I was one of the guys that wore like a different jersey every day to school. So I had the jean shorts and the all white Air Forces. That was me.
Nice.
That was me. Oh yeah. Yep. Had the chain and everything like that.
Oh man.
Oh yeah.
Bad boy.
Oh yeah. I'd throw some pictures out. Yeah, I had a little bit of a persona that was built about me, even though I didn't build it. Just because when my parents moved out of the city into the county, I was known as the city boy in the school. So of course I already carried a persona that I hadn't even earned whatsoever. I was just known because my one cousin who was a couple months older than me, he went to the same school and he had been living in the county for years. And he kept saying, "Yeah, my cousin from the city just moved out here. He's going to be coming to school here." And like he talked me up, and I'm like, "Shut up! Like I'm not trying to get in fights after school with no country boys. Like leave me alone." So, but no, it was. I mean, that was pretty cool because that era, that was if you wore jerseys and stuff.
Oh yeah.
That was cool. Oversized jerseys at that.
They were huge.
Mine weren't really oversized as much because I was already a bigger, larger human being.
You and me both.
Yeah. So they looked like normal jerseys to us. But then, like, I had some friends who were normal sized people and they still wore the same size that I did. And I'm like, what are you wearing?
Yeah.
It looks ridiculous. So, but. Sorry, went off on a rant there.
You're good. Don't really have anything else on the NFL.
No, Hard Knocks training camp. Haven't seen any real significant injuries yet. There's been some, obviously.
Yeah.
I follow Shefty and all them, and they're like, "Oh yeah, ACL here or PCL there and stuff like that." But it's not been anyone that's been, "Oh damn, that's gonna that could really affect the season and everything like that." So, and I don't know. I know you play it. I play it because I'm a degenerate, but fantasy football.
I was just about to go there.
Now is when you start hitting the books and trying to figure out what's my first round look like, what's my second round going to look like.
So I just got asked to be in 2 other.
Oh, there you go.
Now I'm going to be up to 4 or 5.
Oh wow,
and that is way too much.
That is a lot.
No, it'll be 4, I think.
4. Which is, okay. All money leagues.
I mean, I think one of them's like $20.
That's not
one's
terrible.
$100, like nothing crazy.
Okay.
All right. But
I was gonna say you don't have to say we'll talk after camera if you don't want to listen to know how much you put out.
No, it's not she won't listen to this anyway. But yeah, one of them is like that keeper league or whatever.
Ooh, those are interesting. Those are very interesting.
25 rounds. for the first year for the draft.
What is it? 8 teams?
Maybe
I
10,
don't even
8,
know
10,
there's.
something
I was
like
gonna
that.
say I don't even know there's enough offensive players in the league to
Right?
draft for that.
So
Good lord.
I'm like, oh, this might be more than I signed up for. But so
Oh,
but
love that.
should be fun.
Yeah, sure.
So
Sure. Yep.
um
I'm usually in 3. Um One of them I don't have to pay for this year because it gets paid for by my winnings from last year. So I got third place in this league that I've been in since high school. It's a bunch of us out in Pasadena. I won third place, which covered my buy-in for this year and all the fees and everything, which I thought was cool because I texted the commissioner's buddy of mine and I was like, "Hey, I'm like, did I ever collect my winnings from last year?" He goes, "Nope, still sitting in the account." I'm like, "Can you just keep it and just use it for my buy-in for this year?" He goes, "Yep." He goes, "When you come to the draft, you don't owe anything." I'm like,
there you go.
awesome. One less trip to the ATM I got to make.
Yep.
So, and then another one that I'm in. So I'm in a Yahoo, an ESPN, and then it's MFL. I don't know if you've ever played any. It's another football app. The ESPN one's usually a cheap one. That one's only like $50. And then the big one that I'm in is $350. So that one's a free draft or brand new draft every single year. There's no keepers, there's no buybacks or anything like that. But it's obviously a big payout. I think winner gets around $2,000 or something like that. Because it's a 12-man league, and then the other in 2 of those leagues also, I don't know if your leagues do this. Like if you're high scorer of the week, like one league you get $50, and the other league I'm in you get $20
Oh,
each
nice.
each week that you're high scorer. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So you have the potential.
We don't have anything like that.
Yeah. So the commissioners in each one. That's so essentially $300 out of the $350 for the one league. $300 goes towards the first, second, third place prizes. The $50 from everybody goes towards the weekly, the high score weekly, weeks 1 through 12.
Gotcha.
Winner gets $50.
Okay.
And then same thing for the other league. It's $120 buy-in. $100 goes towards first, second, third place, and then $20 from all 12 players goes towards highest score that week gets $20.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Talk about a thankless job being a fantasy football commissioner,
Especially year after year after year. Like I've done it twice, but they were 2 different leagues separated by multiple years, and I'm like I would have people texting me at like 11:58 at night, like, "I'm trying to make this move. That way it's effective." I'm like, no. I was like the old man and up. No.
Yeah.
Like,
Sorry.
don't text me. Yeah, like if the system doesn't let you do it, then you're not allowed to do it. I'm not pre-approving that at 11:58 at night. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, very thankless job for sure.
But yeah, so that's coming. I've got a lot of drafts. I've got a
Next week, let's me and you do our own draft, me versus you.
okay.
So we'll flip a coin, see who gets first pick, and then we'll go one running back or one quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 receivers, tight end, flex, and a defense. No kickers.
Sounds good.
All right, me versus you, and then
I'm gonna do no preparation for that.
I'm gonna do none either. We'll do 3 bench guys. It's
Okay.
only me and you, and then I will create the league in Yahoo. Me versus you. I'll put our players on each team and see who has the better record come the end of the year.
Sounds good.
Does that sound pretty cool?
Sounds good.
I like that.
We'll do a lunch bet on that.
Always.
Sounds good.
It's an easy one.
The other thing we got is the Olympics.
Oh yeah. Yep.
So Olympics are on. I think golf is today. I think they were started at like 3 a.m. or something like that.
Yeah. Yep. Because of course they're 6 hours ahead. I believe Paris is 6 hours ahead, 5 or 6 hours ahead of us on the East Coast.
Something like
Pretty
that.
sure it's something like that. Yep. Shout out women's rugby.
Yeah, how about that?
What a team of just badasses.
They win in the last seconds on like a 97 yard or meter, whatever the fuck.
Yeah. Yep. So how awesome was that? To beat Australia, which I don't know, fact check me here. I think that may have been where the sport originated from.
One of the maybe Australia, New Zealand,
somewhere
like that.
In there, yeah. So and just the devastation on Australia compared to the excitement from the U.S., it was like, wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
that is friggin' awesome.
Absolutely.
So yeah,
And one of the other things that's been throwing me off about the Olympics is like the NBA, or not the NBA, but the basketball portion of it.
Mm-hmm.
They were listing the players' heights in meters. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, I've got no idea.
None. Because
So-
we're stupid Americans.
Exactly. So I'm like, how tall is 2 meters?
Right. I usually go. I essentially go like 3. Usually, it's just about 3 feet to a meter.
Okay.
Just about. It's not exact, but 3 feet to a meter. Of course, there's 3 feet in the yard, but essentially, there's roughly like 3 feet to a meter, I believe. So that's usually a good indication. So,
Gotcha.
plus, especially for a lot of the guys from the U.S., if you watch the NBA, you already know how tall they are. So then that's how I start doing the math. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if I like Kevin Durant, 7 foot, and if they say, oh, he's 2.8 meters, I'm like, okay, 3, 6, 8 out of 3. Okay, cool, got it. Something like that. So
Yeah. The other thing, gymnastics. Simone Biles. I mean, we've been watching that a little bit at my house because the girls are in gymnastics and love it.
Absolutely. And what an amazing person to look up to. Just an amazing human being in general.
Yeah.
So,
and she just had a Netflix documentary thing that the kids have been watching.
Didn't she just overtake Michael Phelps for the most awarded U.S. Olympian of all time?
Could have. I'm not sure.
I think she did. I saw a story. I mean, obviously Michael Phelps is the biggest Olympian in U.S. history, to my knowledge. Until Simone Biles, I think she overtook him for most medals overall.
It's crazy.
Maybe it was most. I'm not sure if it was most gold or just most medals overall. Which
she's 27.
Yeah,
which is old for a.
That is older. Yes, she's one of
gymnast,
the correct.
Which is a wild.
Yep. So
thing
this
to think
could
about.
possibly be her last one.
Yeah.
But obviously she'll get invited to be coach every single time we have it until the day she dies. But yeah, what a cool. You have these personalities that are really awesome. Like Alana, the girl from the rugby match, the one who stiff. Did you see the interview with Derek Henry?
No.
Yes, they interviewed Derek Henry and showed him the one where she just stiff-armed the shit out of this lady. I think she was from Spain. Like almost put her through the ground. And they're saying that she watched film of Derek Henry stiff arm to learn how to do it that well. And he's like, yeah, he goes, she does it just as well as I do.
That's awesome.
Yeah. He goes, and she got no pads on. Yep.
Crazy.
Yep. So it wouldn't surprise me if you see Team USA Rugby at one of the Baltimore Ravens games this year.
Nice.
To meet Derek Henry and all them guys. So and Lamar Jackson. So
yeah.
But yeah, that wouldn't surprise me whatsoever.
Nice. So with golf, I think there was a little bit of a to-do that Bryson's not on the team.
Yeah.
And did you see the YouTube of Bryson and Trump?
Absolutely.
Playing golf?
Absolutely.
How awesome.
That was cool.
Was that?
That was cool. Some of Trump showed.
He played well.
Trump showed he knows how to play. I mean, he had, he looked like a normal human.
Yeah.
A few swings, but it was like other swings. It was like, but he was so consistent. He had way more good swings. I would say through the whole YouTube video, he had maybe 4 or 5 that were like, oh, what the hell was that? Like just chunking the ball or something like that. But other than that, it was like, he legit can play this game.
Yeah.
Like he legit is probably a 6 handicap.
Mm-hmm.
Like he said he was.
And I love he just drives right up to the tee box.
Oh, well.
When you can do that if you own the place.
Yes, yeah.
I'm like,
that was amazing. Yeah. Yep. That was amazing.
Like,
but he talked about like he goes when I design these courses, he goes a lot of golfers hate trees. He goes on these links courses, they don't have trees, and he goes I love the trees. He goes it adds aesthetic to everything. Like he was genuinely talking about how much he loves
He's
the
a golf
game of
guy.
Golf. Huge golf guy. Just genuinely love. Now, I don't know if you noticed this or not. There was a slight advantage for him and Bryson on the hidden greens, because I don't know if you noticed that he would have one of the caddies drive up and stand in line to where you wanted to hit the ball. Like people who don't play golf were probably just like, oh, they're probably just up there spotting the ball. No, they're giving them a target. to look at, which
Hey, still,
it is what it is.
they shot 50.
They shot a 50.
But it was from the front tees, I think, right?
Yes, it was from the front tees, which of course gives Bryson an advantage because he can drive.
They
the
could
most
drive
par
the par
fours.
fours, yeah.
Yep. So, but still, it doesn't matter. You can you barely shoot a 50 in putt sometimes. So shooting a 50 is still that's on a course like Trump's courses I've heard are not easy.
Yeah,
they're not easy courses whatsoever.
I think that was the number one rated course in
the U.S.
No, they played it in it was a bed. Fuck, I can't remember.
I thought
where
that
it
was in the U.S.
Was it?
Yeah, I thought this course was in the U.S. His number one rated course is over in Ireland.
Oh, that might be what I was thinking of.
Yeah. Which they talked about. Which Trump said. He goes, because Bryson asked him. He goes, "Do you have a wish to build any more?" He goes, "No." He goes, "Because I'll never have one better than the one over in Ireland."
Yeah.
So,
which is I can't. I think they said partner about 500 times, and oh man,
glad that wasn't a drinking game.
But
and then 2 days later, Grant Horvat. I don't know if you follow him at all. Grant Horvat had Donald Trump's granddaughter. Granddaughter on his channel. She is an amazing golfer. She is trying to go to college for golf. She's semi-pro right now. Yeah, she's only 17 years old. Yeah, she could whoop our asses up and down.
Oh, I'm sure.
And she's amazing.
That's not a huge.
I was gonna say yeah. It's not saying too much. Not saying too much there. So, how'd you play the other day? Saw you were out on the links.
Did all right.
Did okay.
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
So
I talked to Jake yesterday because my brother's looking to talk to him, but I asked him. I said, "How'd you guys play?" He goes, "Oh, typical." I said, "Oh, okay."
I shot a 48 on the front, which was good.
Okay.
Like I started really strong.
Okay.
And then fell apart.
Because you haven't really played in a few weeks, right? It's been
that
I'm aware of because you've been taking all these vacations and everything. Yeah. It's hard to get out there. So I'm playing tomorrow with the old man.
Nice.
Yeah, we're going down to Rocky Point.
There you go.
Yep. So that'll be fun. Getting it in the morning before it gets too damn hot outside.
Yeah.
So because that can be brutal. But
I got invited to play today, and I got invited to play tomorrow, but I'm like, I can't. It's
hard being out of the office that many days in a row for golf. So like yesterday, I had to drive to the Eastern Shore to take pictures of a building that we're taking care of.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I spent most of my day doing because it was about an hour and a half drive over, 2-hour drive back because of traffic and all that kind of stuff. So that's essentially a whole day.
Yeah.
Especially sitting in traffic, which was miserable.
Yeah.
But what else we got?
What else do we have? So I was gonna do. So we'll go to do the top 3 thing again.
Okay.
Unless you have any other
steakhouses, didn't we?
Is that what we were doing?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Top 3 steakhouses. All right. Let's see.
I'm pretty positive that's what we said we were going to do.
You might be right.
Mm-hmm. Because we did fast food restaurants last time.
All right. I'll let you go first on this one.
Okay. Number 1 for me, without a doubt, Gordon Ramsay steak.
Okay.
In Baltimore. It is and it's sourced from a farm in Maryland,
mm-hmm.
which that's awesome that he uses local stuff.
Yeah.
But hands down, the best New York strip I've ever had in my entire life. Every single time. I've been there. Me and Kate's been there 3 or 4 times now. I get the same exact thing every time.
Nice.
Yeah. Because I'm one of those people, it's like, oh, why don't you try something new? No, because I know I love this. I came here for this. It's a $300.
My mouth has been salivating for this.
Right? Like, I know this meal costs $300 for both of us. I know what I'm getting. I'm not going to mess it up by getting something different that I might not like.
Yeah.
Why do that? Why mess with what
I need to venture outside of my box.
There's no reason whatsoever. And because they do because the kind of steakhouse, they do the shareable like sides and everything.
Mm-hmm.
We get the creamy mashed potatoes and we get the mac and cheese.
Okay.
Yep. It's
nice.
just, it's untouchable.
There you go.
Untouchable. Yep. What's your number 1?
I don't know.
Do you need me to do number 2 and number 3 for me?
Yeah, let's have you go through your 3,
okay.
And then I'll do mine.
Okay. So number 2 for me will be Texas Roadhouse. Because the quality matched with the price, I believe, is untouchable. I believe is untouchable. The seasons that they use and everything like that. And then just the atmosphere, the
rolls.
appetizers. Yeah, come on now. Trying to stick to the steak, but the rolls automatically throw it up. You know what I mean? The rolls are that's a complete side discussion. But yes, that's number 2 for simple quality, taste, and for the price point that it's at. It is number 2 by a long shot.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then number 3 for me, I would have to go Longhorn.
Okay.
Longhorn Steakhouse. That's a pretty solid number 3 for me. And there's not a close number 4. If someone says, "Hey, we're going," and a lot of people are like, "Oh, what about Roost Chris?" Roost Chris to me is the same quality as Texas Roadhouse for 3 times the price. If I'm going to Roost Chris, I expect something just below Gordon Ramsay's, and I've yet to get it.
Yeah,
I've been there a couple times,
mm-hmm.
so I've given it its fair, and I've been to different ones. I didn't,
Yeah.
You don't keep going to the same one because, I've been to different ones. I will spend the extra $50 total to go to Gordon Ramsay's over going to Roost Chris.
Okay.
So,
okay.
And obviously, you can see I grew up not being uppity or anything. Like my parents didn't have a lot of money at all growing up. So if we had steak, it was maybe once every 6 months, like going out to get steak. My father would grill a lot, which was awesome. But no, so like value restaurants like Texas Roadhouse and Longhorn. So now I will say this, and I catch a lot of shit for it. The steakhouse that would be rated dead last for me is Outback. I cannot stand it. Cannot stand it.
Why?
I just never had a good experience.
Really?
Not once.
I haven't been to an Outback in a long, long time.
Not once.
I will say I love their cheese fries. Love their bloomin' onion.
Sure.
I think the appetizers and everything are better than the steak you get there.
A lot of the other food is better than the steak that you get there.
Yeah.
And they're supposed to be known for their steak.
Yep. Like I used to like their burger was good. Their Alice Springs chicken.
So Kate had their shrimp Alfredo.
Okay.
She said that was amazing. She said she tried the chicken Alfredo. That was amazing.
There you go.
And it's like, then stop calling yourself a steakhouse.
Yeah. All right, so I'll go through mine.
Okay.
So number 3 is gonna be a tie.
Oh, okay.
Number 3 is gonna be a combination of Longhorn and Texas Roadhouse.
Oh, okay.
So both like
That's
you're
fair.
you're getting a steak at a good price.
Getting a good quality meal. Yes. Yep.
Most likely, I'm getting a sirloin when I go.
Sirloin's always the way to go.
Cowboy
cut if you're going to Roadhouse.
It's good stuff.
Yep.
Sometimes they're better than others when you go there.
Sure.
It's not always.
Sure. I've yet to have a miss.
Consistency there's not.
I've yet to have a miss at Roadhouse. I'll say that.
I've had a miss at Roadhouse.
Oh, okay.
Okay. But it is what it is.
Sure.
But both are normally pretty consistently good.
They're essentially almost the same.
Yes.
Yeah. Just with different names on the front of the building.
So, I like both of them. Both very solid. Like the appetizers of both too.
I was gonna say, how do you not give the edge to Roadhouse though? Because of the rolls.
Longhorn.
If you're purely basing it off of steak, okay, I'll give you.
Longhorn has bread and butter, and their bread and butter's good. But
it ain't them Roadhouse.
Also, the Wild West shrimp from Longhorn.
Haven't had
very
those
good
before. Okay.
Very, very good.
Okay. All right.
So I like it. Number 2.
2 is Solo, or we got another tie?
Number 2 is Solo.
Okay.
Number 2 is going to be the Wine Kitchen, which is on Carroll Creek in Frederick.
Okay.
Very nice. I guess it's kind of a steakhouse, but
okay.
Good.
Well, obviously they have to have good steak, or you wouldn't put them on the list.
Their steak is very good.
Okay.
A little bit of a pricier meal. Go there, you're spending at least probably $200 to $300.
Wow. Okay.
That's with drinks and everything else.
Sure.
So
yeah.
For the two of us, but and then my number 1, which is not even necessarily a steakhouse, but it's Dutch's daughter in Frederick.
You've told me about that
I
place
love
many a times.
getting a fillet and a
Yeah.
crab cake
Oh,
at the same time.
oh, steak and a cake.
Little, I guess, surf and turf, but
Yeah,
it's
steak and a
that's
cake.
my number one. Like
Okay.
that's my favorite meal if I'm going to
Okay.
go out and get something.
Mhm.
That's it.
Nice.
So,
I
and
like.
the steak there is very good.
I have heard like that place is like known up and down the coast. Like
Yeah.
anybody who says if you're out in the Frederick area, that's where you need to go.
Yep.
Like if you want that meal, that's just going to be like, okay, I'm satisfied.
Yeah.
Like that's where you go.
So,
So that's cool.
yep.
That's cool. Nice.
And I'll give an honorable mention to Firestone's. Or is it Firestone or Firebirds? It's Firestone. Not sure. It's one of the two, but it's in Frederick. It's kind of similar to.
That's why it only gets an honorable mention.
It's similar to a like Longhorn or Texas Roadhouse.
Okay.
Okay. Good bread and butter. Steak is good.
Gotcha.
Gotcha. The sides there are amazing.
I forget what the place you recommended to me was that was near Frederick, and you said you got to get the prime rib when you go there. I forget what it is. It's like if you're driving down 70, you can almost see it like up on top of the hill. It's in like a shopping center sort of looking thing. I forget what it's called. So, but I've been there multiple times only because you recommended it. So you were like, if you're looking for just a good meal that's not going to break the bank, here's where and they had good steak.
I'd love to know what that was.
Yeah, we'll have to look that one up.
Yeah,
look that up. I swear, if I just follow my finger on the maps along 70, like as you're approaching Frederick, you zoom in and it's one of the first things that pop up. So
I'm stumped.
I was gonna say you recommended it to me. You have to get to the parking lot. You come off the exit. You make a left. You go across what looks like a smaller highway. Then you kind of go up, and then you make a left into the overall like shopping area, and it's right on the left. It's like it's the whole.
What
shopping
store is it near?
Oh, dude, I couldn't tell you. I don't look around at the other stuff. Yeah, but you can see it. Like when you're on the main road, it's like an elevated shopping center, and that's the corner. That's on the corner. Is that steakhouse?
I've got no idea.
Yeah. I could probably drive there and not know the name of it, but I remember how to get there.
And they've got a good prime rib?
They've got great prime rib. It was amazing. Yep. Nice little au jus with it and everything like that. Little dipping with some horseradish. Oh yeah. It was amazing.
Might just be that we haven't, like Alyssa and I haven't been out to dinner much, just the two of us.
Sure. It happens.
I don't know.
It happens.
I'd love to know the name of that place.
I'll tell you as soon as this episode ends and I can get my phone back, I'll let you know what it is.
So next week's top three, I forgot we were doing steakhouses today.
Mm-hmm.
But next top three is going to be drinks that are a mixed drink, not like a whiskey on the rocks or tequila. It's going to be
straight tequila.
Top three like mixed drinks,
like cocktails.
Not a beer. Yeah, top three cocktails.
Top three cocktails. Oh,
so
I already know my number one. I don't even have to think about it.
Should we just do two this week?
I mean, we could. You're going first.
Or should we just do it next week?
No, we'll do a different topic next week. Let's do steak and cocktails. What do you got? What's your
top
three?
All right, top three. Number three is going to be a vodka club soda.
Okay.
With lemon and lime.
Okay.
That's a great summer drink. Very simple.
Refreshing. Not too hard.
You can do vodka or tequila with that.
Sure.
Tequila with club soda and lemon and lime is very good too.
Still pretty good.
Yep. My number two is going to be a transfusion.
Okay.
Good old transfusion on the golf course.
Yeah.
Or even at home is pretty good.
Yep.
And then my number one, if I'm out, and it's probably more of a summer thing, would be an Orange Crush.
Oh, there you go.
So
there you go.
Those are mine.
Okay. I'll go in reverse. I'll go number one first. Number one for me is a margarita.
Oh, fuck.
Gotta be a margarita.
How did I not think about that?
It's gotta be a margarita. And it doesn't, frozen on the right, doesn't matter. Margarita. You can't change your list. Too late. Yeah, your list sucks. Number two for me is your number one.
Okay,
Orange Crush.
yeah.
Yes, Orange Crush 100%. And honestly, almost any kind of crush.
Mm-hmm.
I think orange is definitely the superior. But if I come up and they have like a mango crush, I'll still get it.
Yeah.
Like if I don't see that they have a solid margarita, crush is my next drink that I'm going after.
There you go.
Yep. And then my third one is it's essentially a Shirley Temple, which you know what I mean, but you say it a little different to not sound as gay when I order it, and I'm like, it's a specific type of vodka, Ciroc. I'm a big fan of Ciroc vodka. I just thought it was really, really smooth. It's one of the most smoothest vodkas I've ever had. So Ciroc, grenadine, and Sprite. No Red Bull. I don't like Red Bull. So Sprite to give it the fizzy pop taste.
I do love a good Red Bull vodka.
So that's
trying to get things going.
Yeah, I feel like my heart's gonna explode.
Exactly.
Whenever I do any stuff, like whenever I smell Red Bull, I start like gagging a little bit.
Yeah.
Because me and my friend Jordan, you've met Jordan, we used to split a handle of Jaeger in college before we went out.
Oh,
split it.
God, that's disgusting.
Right? Before we went out. So we would each buy a 4-pack of Red Bull, each of us, the regular size cans, not the big ones,
like
the regular
Jaeger
size.
bombs?
And we just did Jaeger bombs. We had a pump. So one pump equaled one shot. You take the shot, chase it with a Red Bull. And a whole handle just gone. And then we'd be like, all right, we're ready to go.
Oh, I was never a Jaeger fan.
I can't smell it. If I smell it, I'll start gagging.
Yeah.
I can't do it no more. I have one bad night, fun college story. I got so messed up, I fell asleep leaning against the post. I was still standing. My buddy Jordan was right next to me, and he came over and he woke me up. He goes, "Are you ready to go?" I was like, "Don't leave me."
Yes.
He goes, "All right, let's go." He goes, "Can you walk?" I said, "I think so." He goes, "All right, come on." So we got in this cab, minivan cab, and I laid across the back. It was like a captain seat, so it was empty in the middle. So I was like slumped like this, and I just remember it was maybe a 7-minute drive from the bar that we were at back to my house, and my buddy, he sat in the front seat with the driver and everything, and I'm just laying across the back seat, and all of a sudden I felt the urge to vomit.
Oh no.
Very badly. So I reached up, grabbed him by his. Now he's bigger guy than I. He makes me look
George's
normal human, 6'8", you know what I mean, big guy. And I just was going like this. He looks over at the driver and says, "You better pull over. He's going to throw up." So as I felt the car go right, to the guy was pulling over immediately, and I'm trying to open the door just so as soon as it stops, I can throw up out the door. I ripped the handle off the door. Jordan turns around and looks at me as like, because it was on his card, and I'm like, well, he's going to charge him for it, blah, blah, blah. I threw it in the back. I just threw the handle in the back, and the guy opened the door, and it was just black.
Oh,
all the Jaeger, right? It was all black.
God.
I didn't get one drop in the van.
Good on you.
Not one drop in the van. And the guy closed the door, and I'm just sitting there like this, like, I can't believe I just ripped that handle off. So I got out the opposite door when we got out, and we went walking up, and it was like, and so he ended up telling the guy a different house, just in case he tried to come back the next day.
Yeah.
He told him a different house that was just like a block away. So he got out the car. He goes, "We're walking because of you." I'm like, "I know, I'm sorry." I was like, "That's my bad."
I messed up. My bad.
He goes, "I can't believe you ripped that whole handle off." I'm like, "Me neither." I'm like, "I thought it was built a little stronger than that." Apparently Toyota minivans back in the 08s weren't as strong as they used to be. So, but yeah, so that was pretty much my last night ever really drinking Jaeger, is when it came back up and it was still black, as black as it was when it went down. Yeah,
there's so many flavors of Burnett's vodka that I
good Lord,
drink because of
that. You could heal AIDS with that stuff by pouring it on. Jesus, that's just like rubbing alcohol. like you could put Burnett's in one cup, rubbing alcohol in the other. You couldn't tell me the difference. You couldn't tell me the difference. And it came in those plastic bottles, too, because it was cheap, right?
Oh yeah.
Remember walking into the liquor store and just one entire aisle was only Burnett's because they had a different flavor for everyone, and it was like it's just a different flavor of rubbing alcohol. It's
Yeah, it
like,
was not.
you get the whiff of it, and that's all it. There's no taste of it. You just get a whiff, an aroma of the flavor of it, and that's all you got. So, but when you're in college, you gotta sacrifice
On a
a little
budget.
bit. Yeah,
Balling on a
all on a
budget.
budget. Well, back then we had Four Locos too, when they had like the crack cocaine in them and stuff.
You've met my buddy Pat Black, right?
Oh yeah, oh
Dude,
yeah.
Pat used to drink like 4 or 5 of those a night.
4, 5. What the hell?
Like,
How is he still living right now? He should go to some scientist and be like, "You need to study my internal organs."
It was hilarious.
And they were cheap too.
Yes,
they were
a couple
huge
bucks
cans
for
that you could get for like $3 or $4. Yes.
Bring Four Locos back.
Oh my god, they have them, but they are not
the same.
They are not what they used to be. No. No. He could probably have 3 or 4 now and still pick his kids up from school or something like that. Yeah, no, it's not anything nothing like it used to be. Like that stuff would turn people into zombies if they had too many. Like it was.
It would bring you up so high.
Yep.
And then you're just gonna crash.
It was like you jumped off the Empire State Building.
Yeah.
When it was time
but
to come
Pat
down.
didn't crash.
He just kept going. Just kept rallying. Love that. Just kept rallying. So, but yeah. So those are your 3. Those are my 3. So I thought that was good.
I would have added margaritas in there if I would have thought about it, but I messed up. That's my bad.
It happens. It happens. We all make mistakes sometimes. We just
love a good margarita on the rocks.
It's hard to say no to it.
Yeah.
It's just really hard to say no. But yeah. So I used to have. So I actually bought the Margaritaville margarita maker, the one that would shave the ice and then pour the alcohol, just enough tequila in and just enough mix in and everything. Yeah, we had one of those. I split it with me and my dad split because it was like $300 some at the time, and I was just out of college. So I'm like, I don't have $300. He goes, I'll pay half of it. I'm like, sold. So yeah. So it was cool. Came in like a carrying case. You could take it with you and everything.
Nice.
It was a pretty cool like margarita maker, and it made like perfect margaritas.
That's awesome.
Yeah, made perfect margaritas, which was nice. So I might have to buy another one of those now. That's what I'm thinking about. And now that I have money.
Yeah, I think Danny bought like a industrial one or something.
Did he really?
From a bar or something. He was talking about.
That wouldn't surprise me.
I remember hearing that.
We got to get Danny back on here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
We'll message him and see if we can't get him out here next week to come on.
Yeah, let's do that. Still need to get Jake on too.
Still need to get Jake on. Yep. Oh, what about we got a tournament coming up in a couple of months here, bud.
Our golf outing is
we're less than 3 months away now.
Friday, October 25th.
Yeah.
So
at the Woodlands.
We're down to crunch time.
Yep. We actually got to start getting moving on this and start messaging some people.
Yeah. So if you're in the area, sign up. Great event.
Yeah. Send us a message. Yep. If you're in the Maryland, D.C., Virginia area, it's not a far drive whatsoever. Great course. There'll be great food, great prizes like always.
Orange Crush Bar to start the day.
Yeah, buddy.
Breakfast provided.
Yep.
Get a snack at the turn.
Yep.
Barbecue afterwards.
Yep. Lunch /
drinks
dinner.
all throughout.
Yep.
Yeah,
it's a good time. Cool, really cool auction or not auction, but raffle prizes.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. We always give out cool stuff to the winners of some of the contests and everything like that too. Definitely having the liquor putt off this year, the prize putt off. I thought, definitely want to have that. And we'll start doing that every year.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's anyone who likes to come out and have a good time for charity, come on out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that'll be great.
So I think that about wraps it up.
I think so.
So
good little episode.
Yeah, good episode.
Yep.
That's all I got.
That's it. Till next week.
We'll see you next week.
Go O's.
Let's go O's.